Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. South Africa.
We decided that the only proper way to celebrate 20 years of democracy was by doing it through the arts, because the arts continue to interrogate the current democracy. And anybody who cares about justice and righteousness understands that the Market Theater was a temple for justice and righteousness during the darkest period of this country. So it was altogether appropriate that we center our production right here. So it was just the right choice. And we also decided that we were going to make a contribution to the Market Theater Lab, because we think it's important to continue to advance this legacy with the young people who are going to carry the torch forward.
When we come to it, then we'll confess that not the pyramids with their stones set in mysterious perfection, nor the gardens of Babylon hanging as eternal beauty in our collective memory,
not the Grand Canyon kindled into delicious color by western sunset,
nor the Danube flowing its blue soul into Europe,
not the sacred peak of Mount Fuji stretching to the rising sun,
neither Father Amazon
nor Mother Mississippi, who without favor nurtures all creatures in the depths and on the shore.
This is a rebirth of a partnership, of friendship between the United States of America and the Market Theater. And that rebirth can never be confirmed by any other ways other than to put on such a great show with all the friends that support this initiative, and also to say, let's recommit to each other, because ours is a partnership of many years to come, and there's a lot more we can do. Theater is one medium we are using, but we are not kidding ourselves. Socially we need to engage, economically we need to engage, politically we need to engage. All spheres of life we need to embrace in order to make this partnership and friendship to be something of a live activity that we all can share from.
Brother, I go to my brother. I said, brother, won't you help me, please? Help me, please, help me, please. He said I would, I really would, but I'm just not able. Then when I looked around, I was right back down on my knees. Hey, there's been times that I thought, hey, I know this couldn't last for very long.
I think it's significant on two levels. One, it reinforces the partnership with the American, particularly the embassy. But I think to use art in celebrating and commemorating 20 years of democracy, there's no joyous way or joyous an occasion for us to be reminded of how far South Africa has come. And the arts and the role of the arts, in terms of voicing and making sure that the world knew what the issues were in South Africa, I think it's just an apt way to celebrate and to mark 20 years of democracy. The role of the arts cannot be underestimated and undervalued. It's such an important way in which we've brought the Market Theater and this role as well, to the fore. So it's really, really significant.
Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Either when I lose or win, 'cause I give you all of me, and you give me all of you.
For me, really, when it was clear that we were going to have our 20-year celebration, I suddenly went into a space that it would be great if we see a collision of the South African songbook and the American songbook. And then I was sitting at home, went digging on the old Langston Hughes and South African poetry, and it just felt that it would be nice to celebrate our 20 years, but not in isolation, because apartheid was we were always alone, and so we looked at the civil movement, and there's an amazing echo and similarities with our walk here. And then bless the American ambassador, who then gave a grant to make sure that this happens.
I'm coming home. I'm coming. I'm coming home. I'm coming. I'm coming. Yes, I'm coming. I'm coming. You know that I'll be coming home. I'm coming. I'm coming home. I'm coming. I'm coming. Yes, I'm coming. I'm coming. You know that I'll be coming home.
Why do you think that America, North America, likes John Carney and likes South African theatre so much?
Well, when we got there in the 70s with plays like Sizwe Banzi is Dead and The Island, it was almost, I remember Sidney Poitier saying, I don't want to call this a play. I want to call it an event I witnessed this evening in 25 years of the theatre I have seen. James L. Jones, Alex Cohen, one of the great Broadway producers, Norman Keane, they said, why is South African work so important? Because we are a phase behind the American transformation into post-slavery, post-civil rights, into this prosperous democratic state. We use the Americans to measure our progress or no progress at all.
Take it from me someday. Someday, well, I'll be free.
Tula umsindo.